welcome back to Steampunk's GameSpot's PC-focused show. We talk about PC things and general gaming things, but mostly geared on PC. Yeah. With me, Edmund Tran, and Jess McDonald. Now, Call of Duty Black Ops 4 is making a lot of waves this week. There's like new Blackout mode, which is the Battle Royale spin-off. There's a thing that, you know, on PC, it's only available on Battle.net this time around, which has gotten people up in arms. But also, it doesn't have a single-player campaign this time around, which is what we're going to be talking about today. The lack of single-player campaign in Call of Duty Black Ops, and whether they need one, or whether that's a big deal, and why it's a big deal. Yeah. Now, I play multiplayer games, but you typically don't.
No, I typically don't.
Yeah, so
Call of Duty is a strange entity to me, but it occurs to me, like, as someone who's sort of outside of it but plays plenty of games that have tons of different modes, it seems strange for Activision and Treyarch to hit this point where they've decided to cut down on their offerings for the same full-price game. I understand for a lot of people the single player was just an inclusion. It was kind of a nice addition that a lot of people still didn't get into, but I think most people that I've talked to who are big COD fans would at least get through the campaign and have that experience.
No, I think Treyarch will fight you on the less modes thing because they included a whole new Battle Royale on top of traditional multiplayer as well as zombies, which is always popular. But I do get that, you know, single player has traditionally been a component of a lot of different types of games. But we have also seen the trend of games shedding their single player completely for games like Titanfall, for example, which didn't have a traditional multiplayer, but then went back to it with Titanfall 2. And, you know, that was a really good campaign. And
we're seeing similar stuff with Fallout 76, which obviously Bethesda is a company known for. You know, their whole advertising campaign was we're supporting single-player experiences over the last couple of years. From everything that everyone said, you can get away from other players, but there is no way to play the game where you are singularly on your own map and there's nobody else. And you can play offline, which is a really interesting move and, as they've said, kind of a risk for their player base.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how Fallout turns out. But in terms of Call of Duty, I'm in sort of two minds of the lack of single player. The first mind is that Call of Duty, for me, has always had pretty good single player campaigns. They've been short and sweet, and even if they're not like amazing, they're still like nice to play for like 2 or 3 hours. Obviously, the campaign in Modern Warfare 1 was like exceptional, and Modern Warfare sort of single player campaigns are still pretty memorable to me. They've had a lot of sort of iconic moments. In terms of Black Ops, people obviously love the Black Ops storyline, and they love, you know, Frank Woods and all those kind of guys. And to see that kind of go away is really sad. But on the other side of things, I totally understand why it's only multiplayer. For a lot of people who play Call of Duty, multiplayer is all they play. And I can see Treyarch and Activision saying, okay, well, obviously we're just going to put all our money into this side of things, and people are going to be happy, presumably. For a while, Call of Duty multiplayer was on Steam as its own entity, and people were just buying that bit and, you know, just playing that bit. You know, like Call of Duty for a little while would let you choose which menu you wanted to boot into. You can just boot into the multiplayer menu. But I think the lack of single player thing is more of a coming from the console side of things, where traditionally consoles have never been sort of connected. PCs have always kind of been connected, but on console where you can just play offline and sort of have like a solo experience, the lack of single player kind of speaks to this changing dynamic of what games are supposed to be now. And that's kind of something that the gamer player base has kind of been adjusting to for the last sort of decade or so as, you know, things get more interconnected. But on the PC front, like PC gamers are no strangers to multiplayer only games. Like all of the big PC games, all of the biggest PC games are multiplayer only. You got your Dotas, you got your LoLs, you got your Battle Royales. None of these games have single player. And like to just have a multiplayer game is not a big deal. It's like, I'm gonna play this one, it's gonna be online, my computer's online already, I'm gonna play with other people, and that's fine. It's just part of what PC gamers expect from games.
A lot of them.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I think there's a huge space, you know, the Elder Scrolls games of the world for that solo experience. But I think one of the weird things about Activision's choice is that they likely may have speculatively moved those resources from the single campaign into the Battle Royale, which is giving that mode, it basically needs to be amazing. And from what everyone said, it is quite good, but I think it's put a lot of the heavy lifting on that new mode, because presumably without that, maybe we would have seen another single player campaign in this game.
Multiplayer games are much more transient, you know, it's like, if I want to go back and play a game of Call of Duty World at War, you know, multiplayer, I'm not going to be able to. And, you know, in 10, 15 years' time, are we going to be able to go back to Black Ops 4 and you know, experience it because will the servers still be online, you know? Like, will the player base still be there? You know, Call of Duty is a huge game. It probably might be. People still play Modern Warfare on PC all the time, so that, you know, it's probably not a worry there. But I don't think it's, you know, if this becomes like a wider trend, it's kind of problematic because you're then splitting gamers across all these different games. And you need to like put a lot of resources into maintaining the multiplayer base and making sure that the game exists as a service.
Yeah. Let us know what you guys think, particularly in the case of Black Ops 4. If it was indeed a trade-off between the single-player campaign and the new Battle Royale mode Blackout, are you happy with that trade? Which would you prefer? How do you feel about Call of Duty? And let us know all your thoughts in that comment section below.
Thank you for all your comments last week when we talked about the episodic formula for your games and whether it's good or not. A lot of people just seem to like waiting for the whole thing, which is totally understandable.
Generally.
I find it quite surprising that not many people were like with me on like the Hitman thing where you just like explore a single space, but that's fine.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Here and there they were. We did get one particular comment from Gender on site saying, I hate the episodic formula, but I like the games. Generally, I wait until the game is released in its entirety before playing. So yeah, that's
basically
reflects
everyone.
what we said. That was pretty much everybody. I mean, I do think it's still relevant to like think about how it helps, like things like budget, like having that wait. Yeah, it's like a huge, like kind of crappy trade-off for the gamer, but for them, it's probably ending up with making you a better game. So whether you think that's valuable or not, it's probably not.
Better to have. As the old Shigeru Miyamoto quote goes, a delayed game is eventually good, but a rushed game is forever bad.
Forever bad.
Or something like that.
That's a good point.
Cricket Style J on YouTube said, the irony of Telltale and Life is Strange is that story-heavy games are probably the worst possible genre for an episodic format. The drama and story can't be sustained over all those long gaps. Contrast this with Shovel Knight, where the episodes came out years apart, but it's fine because continuity is not central to the game's appeal. I think he makes a really good point. And I think that's in the case of Hitman as well. So, you know, obviously gameplay is nice to revisit after a short break. And if you're not left on a cliffhanger ending, then that's fine. It's kind of just like a mini sequel, which is like a nice thing to have, I guess, a little present of minigame form.
And I think I like the point that was made about the story. I do like the serialization of story. I like the way that television delivers episodes, but you know, there's a really good reason why TV shows come out every week.
Because it's consistent.
Yeah,
they're
and
on a schedule.
It's near enough that it's giving you like that weight, and you're getting them in like bite-sized chunks. But there's a consistent expectation of when you're getting it, and I do think that is where the episodic format can fall down, when either those waits of months or you don't know when the next one's coming at all, and you're just losing steam with the story, which is a bit of a shame.
Can't losing steam.
That is everything we think, but do let us know your comments on this week's episode down in that comment section, and we'll be back soon with another PC-focused episode.